All right, what's going on, everybody? Had a little bit of a little hiccup there. Wouldn't play the daggone intro video, but welcome back. We're back. Dog Talk West Virginia. I'm your host, Shane Raines, with the live show crew tonight. What's up, guys? We got Chris. We got Chase in the house tonight. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Shane? How you doing?
Man, you know, anytime you got a little bit of a little tech issue going on, kind of threw me by for a little bit of a loop. But man, pumped up to be here tonight. Can't say a lot's going on out there. Hobies, big Hobie event going on. We're kind of sitting back waiting on some results on that. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. Beautiful day, mid 40s, I think, here in the Kanawha Valley. Awesome weather. Chase, we saw you kind of working in the boat a little bit, snuck out, still no power. How y'all looking with power?
Well, we finally got power. We've been out since, what was the last ice storm? It was like, Wednesday, right? Something like that. So
Yeah.
We've been without power until today. So it came back on today, snuck back out there to the garage, and I got a little more work done to the boat, which needed to be done. So I'm still behind, but we got all next week. Hopefully I can get it all done before I get ready to get out of here for a week.
Where you heading?
We're heading to Hartwell for the first college tournament of the year. So we'll be there from March 1st to the 6th. So
Bass?
Should be. Yep.
Yeah,
Bassmaster, college bass.
Sweet, man. That
Should be a fun time.
Well, a lot to do to cram in for that, too.
Oh, yes.
Line, rigging everything, preparing.
Yep.
I know you constantly do your homework and everything else, so I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah. and we got I'm still waiting on a live scope, so we got to install one of those before we even head down there. So
nice.
A lot of work planned.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but that's always fun. Part of the fun is rigging the boat, getting all the gear set up, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, mine's sitting out underneath some snow right now, so
I've
got just a little bit left to. I think next week's supposed to be really nice, middle of the week. Wednesday, I think 50, something like that. So I'm ready for that. I know everybody else is. Chris, what's up with you, brother? How y'all holding up? Obviously, got some power. Everybody's kind of logging in, so that's a plus.
Yeah, we didn't have any issues with power outages, luckily. So
sweet, man. That's an awesome plus. I know you're following closely along with what is going on down at the Hobie event, dude. We've been talking about last couple of weeks, especially with Jody being on. If you missed that episode, please go back. That interview with Jody Queen was awesome. He shed some amazing light on fishing, bass fishing, kayak fishing. So it was awesome. But dude, what the heck's going on down at Hobie over the weekend? It's been tough.
Yeah, man. AJ updated earlier today and just said that a lot of people went home after day one because they didn't catch any fish. It was the fish they've ever had for a tournament, so it's been rough down there for sure.
Yeah, man. I briefly talked to Tim Isaacs, just a little bit, a couple short messages, and that's what he said, man, some of the toughest he's seen. And from the reports, if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn a few weeks back, I think Jay Wallen was maybe out there pre-fishing, posted a video maybe. I think he was saying water temps like mid-40s. I mean, crazy. And, of course, that was before we got hit with that next little cold snap. I can't imagine how tough that bite is right now, and it proved, what was it, 10 limits day one with only 4 other limits behind them with 4 fish. Dude, it was crazy. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And knowing the caliber of anglers, dude, that speaks to how tough it was out there.
Yeah, I saw you could see their fish finder in their Tourney X photo, and it was showing 41 on the fish finder.
Holy smokes. 41. Dude, that's cold. And really, we haven't dealt with that colder water temps, even around here. Yeah, we'll finally dip down into that low 40s, high 30s, a lot of the, reservoirs, the lakes that we got. But, even the river. I remember, dude, I fished Kanawha River last few winters. Try to get out there every so often, and the water temps just never got down that cold. So I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen. As you know, we want to see what's going to happen with the Hobie event, but I'm just curious to see what the fishing's going to be like this year. Post-COVID 2020, less tournaments to a certain extent. There's going to be a lot of cool events happen this year that I think are going to show up, and we're going to see some good fish caught. So I'm hoping that's the case. A better bite this year is, I think, what we're all hoping for. But, man, Chris is kind of following along closely with that Hobie, so he could interrupt us at any time. We're just waiting on those results. We had a few anglers that put up some big numbers. Day 2, we got a local angler, Ewing Miner, Nolan Miner's brother. The whole Miner clan is absolute hammers, dude. It is remarkable. As soon as you see Nolan's name in the collegiate stuff, next thing you know, you see another Miner. You're thinking, dude, are they related? Yes, they are. They're all that good. And man, he was throwing down. Day 2, day 1, he was right there, but day 2, he definitely put some numbers down to be right in the mix. I saw a late lead change by Lambert, comes in and puts up a fish to take the lead. They were within, I think, an inch of each other, 1 3/4. So I'm excited to see how that shakes out. Regardless, we had 3 anglers right up there in the mix. So Chris, keep us updated on that, man, if you see it. But anywho, a lot of talk in the bass fishing community going on right now here around the state. Everybody's just tuning in. What's up? Kind of got lost. We got kind of catching up with everybody, but thanks for tuning in. We're going to kind of dive in to a couple topics that you see come up, especially within the angling community, the bass angling community. This time of year, you always see some conservation topics, maybe some laws that are in place that would need actually some legislative work to be changed, but you see some folks talking about it. We're going to get to some of that 9-9 restrictions. Let us know. This has been going around in kind of an online petition talking about opening up 9-9 lakes. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Give us your take. We actually are going to call a buddy up here in just a few minutes, spent a lot of time on the water, 9-9 lakes. Not just that, but he grew up right next to a 10 horsepower restricted lake. So he's going to come on, talk to us. A lot of you will know who that is, so I'm excited to bring him in here in just probably 5-10 minutes. But so stay tuned with that. But let us know what you think about the 9-9 restriction. Before I get into that, though, man, I will tell you all, Chase, Chris, everybody watching, we all get down that rabbit hole. We get down that rabbit hole of getting on, reading about a study. Actually, I was researching some of the 9-9 stuff and kind of got down on old newspaper articles and different older articles talking about different topics, especially around bass fishing related. And awesome article, I believe it was a paper article written about a West Virginia biologist or studying biology working with West Virginia DNR to put on a study about shad being introduced into Stonewall Jackson Lake. So I've actually reached out to him personally. I believe he still works for the state, but we'll leave his name out for now. I'm going to reach out and kind of pick his brain about a few little things. But about, his project was had a $1,000 grant, I believe, to introduce gizzard shad into Stonewall, and he was just looking into just mainly food source. Looking at the food source for predatory fish. Obviously, everything's going to benefit from that. So we all know how we can get down that rabbit hole. Chris, I know you're a researcher. Chase, you read 24/7. So man, it was really cool. I'm excited to kind of get some more results about that to see what the results were after those were introduced. That's been quite a few years back. We all know there's shad in there. So I'm kind of interested to see the full breakdown. I know you are interested in that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it
I
makes you wonder.
That yet,
yeah,
but I do want to see it for sure. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that. That's some of it. Some of the stuff kind of behind the scenes being worked on. Just kind of diving in. Want to get some more information to you all. But yes, look, Josh Balser chimes in when someone says Stonewall. We woke him up. What's up, buddy? Mr. Balser heading down TBF National Championship coming up here in just beginning of March. So we're going to get him on, chit chat with him if we can. Man, stay safe, heal up quick, brother. But we got his attention with Stonewall. That's pretty funny. We all know he spends a ton of time there. Probably just as much, if not more time than about anybody. There's 3 or 4 guys we could talk about them any other time. But they'd be good. They'd be good to bring on. Get their take on it. They're seeing it. they're fishing. They're fishing this water all the time, so it's really exciting to kind of get some takes. So that's what we're working on. Not a whole lot of information about that other than, like I said, 9-9 talk. Guys, Chris, I'm going to let you hop on first. Kind of give me your take, and then I'm going to call up a buddy, and we're going to kind of chit-chat with him. And, man, what's your thoughts on opening up 9-9 restriction to idle only? That's kind of the push. Idle only for big boats over 10 horsepower. Man, what do you think? Tell me what you think.
I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. I think initially the whole purpose of the rule, at least how I've understood it always, is to protect corrosion in the banks and for these smaller impoundments and things like that. You know, I fish most of the lakes that are kind of fall into that category, and I've paddled from one end to the other in my kayak on them. So, you know, if they don't change the rules, I don't think it's a huge deal. You know, I understand it makes an inconvenience for some of the guys that's dropping their boats in there, and sometimes they don't have a smaller motor that they can run, and they got to keep their trolling motor running all day. So, you know, I'm kind of partial either way, I guess I'd say.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get that. You know, kind of a middle of the road. It's, you know, and here's a kicker. Chase, and I appreciate that Chris. That's killer input. But while I'm going to pull up some information on the DNR page. We'll throw it up on the screen here in a few minutes. But Chase, man, give me your thoughts. You grew up on near Beach Fork. You spent a lot of time at Beach Fork Lake. That is one of the 10 horsepower restricted lakes. Man, what's your thought? I know you had a little bit to say. You were excited when we were kind of talking about it, but man, just give me your take as a bass angler. Well, let me ask you this. We know Chris's typical watercraft is going to be a kayak. So what's going to be your typical watercraft going to a 9-9 lake? And give me your opinion.
I mean, man, I honestly, well, I'm kind of middle of the road with it. Last year I bought a boat just, you know, to fish those little lakes around here, so I could, you know, have more speed, whatever, run around. But I think the petition says that it's supposed to make it idle only, right? Is that what I'm guessing? That's what the petition was supposed to be.
That's the push. Yeah, that's definitely the common push for sure.
Okay, that's fine with me. I think it's okay, but I think there comes problems with it. I think you have a lot of people that are not gonna, you know, they're gonna think that they can go out there and idle around, but they're not actually gonna idle. You know, somebody's version of idling a big motor is way different than somebody else's version of, you know, idling a boat. Heck, you see it all the time on big lakes when you see somebody going through the no wake zone and they're creating a bigger wake than, you know, what they would be if they was just running the boat. On pad. So yeah, it comes with a lot of problems.
And I've kind of talked about that too. I kind of laugh when I see that, and it's not laughing at anybody at whatsoever, because, man, I see the positive, the negative on both sides. There's always a compromise, regardless of what the topic is. But yeah, I do kind of laugh immediately. I mean, we show up at a tournament, and there's always somebody that you know. You don't pass in a no-wake zone. There's always that person that might push somebody a little bit. And no-wake, no-wake zone is in gear and foot off the gas. You know, if you're running a hot foot, you're not hot idling, you're not speed idling it back in there to a no-wake. It's technically in gear, and you just steer the boat, you know, and that's typically in that just shy of 1,000 RPMs, somewhere around there. So, yeah, I see it, dude. You know, I can imagine showing up spent a lot of time, grew up on Woodrum's Lake. Jackson County, we all know that's a narrow channel to get out on the main lake. And if you don't know it, even in a small John boat with a trolling motor, you're going to beat the guts out of that motor, especially if the water's up like 6 inches. Dude, you can't see none of those stumps, you know, the ones that are just right at the surface of the water. So I can imagine, granted, that's no different than a 9-9 boat blasting out through there that don't know it. So there's just as much risk, but man, that's tough. That's a tough scenario to be in if, of course, the push is for idle only, but still, there's someone always going to push it harder. who's going to regulate it? Who's going to watch it? We know that DNR is extremely stretched thin already, covering giant areas, and I think it's one of those things where you put it in. Anglers are usually pretty good about patrolling themselves to a certain extent. There's always that one person, but anyway, that's a good take on it, man.
What's your
anything
thoughts,
to
Sam?
add before I want to show something here
for sure.
in just a minute too? You got anything else to add, buddy?
No,
What's your
we kind of want your thought.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what I did, and everybody at home joining in. We got some comments rolling in, and we'll definitely check back on those. But I want to show you all just a couple things to stay in there. We're going to pull up this image. So here is on the fishing regulations page. Okay, so what we got is lists all the lakes. I believe 127, 126 lakes in the state. This lists them all. Look at the acreage. This is something that kind of stood out to me. Look at the acreage of our lakes. We all know we battle with small waters. NV is no vessels. You see on the far right side. E, electric only. 10, that is your 10 horsepower restricted. E, of course, like I said, electric only. And U, of course, unlimited. Now, NV, let's double check. NV, no motorboats. And there are some 5 horsepower lakes. But let's look at the acreage of these. This is something that I immediately went back and started kind of researching. So 1 acre, 7 acres, 17. You see them. Beach Fork, 720. That's a large 10 horsepower lake. That's one of our larger lakes in the state. But then you get into 20 acre lake, 55 acre lake, electric only. We got a ton of those throughout the state. There's our unlimited lakes, our big lakes, your Bluestone, your Burnsvilles. We know those are unlimited, of course, with wake zones. Cheat Lake, another big one. But you look down through the sizes, and that's kind of what I did. What's realistic, what makes sense. 50-acre lake, obviously electric only. And I counted them up when we only have 7 10-horsepower max lakes. And if you look down through them here, of course, we get into Jackson County. We know the Jackson County lakes. But there's only 7 of them. I'll let you kind of explore that on your own. I know there's some folks that these are their secret holes. Of course, there's no secret. We want everybody to be able to enjoy it. But look through those on your own. DNR on the regulations page. But you can look through them. 10 horsepower lakes, 300 acres.
Go down there to the plum orchard. I have a good point to make on this.
Yeah,
See down there where it says,
and I know where you're going with this, and this is a great point. But yeah, plum orchard. If you haven't been to plum orchard, High Mountain Reservoir dammed up right there in Fayette County, just outside of Beckley. 202 acre lake, and it is unlimited with no wake zones.
So actually, me and a guy on the comment section on that whole post, he actually brought up that plum orchard, and I think Stevens maybe didn't have an unlimited.
Yeah, Stevens is unlimited.
Yeah, but and they're smaller than certain lakes that are 9 lakes. But
absolutely.
What you don't think about is you can see from one end to the other on each of those lakes. Like it's not windy, curvy. You don't have to worry about if you can hammer down, you can see one side to the other.
Yeah,
so
true.
there's not a risk factor there as if, let's say, you went to Beach Fork or you went to Mud River where the lake is windy and turny. I mean, you come around one of those turns going even 40, 50 mile an hour, and somebody's sitting on the other side. There's a good chance you really hurt somebody, or you capsize a daggone boat being so small like that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I see that. And before we get going too far, because we're leaving our buddy hanging because I want to get his take. I'm going to shoot him a message just real quick. But your point about that is, before we bring him on here in a second, but your point about that can you hear me still, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool. Sorry, had to switch this over so we could bring in that phone call. Just want to make sure everybody can still hear. But yeah, man, great point. You can see, for example, you're talking about Plum Orchard. Plum Orchard is a deep lake. It's deep water out there in the middle where you're going to be running, full of lily pads, and it is always funny when you get up there, and by the time you get up on pad, you're there. I mean, there's really nowhere to go. Super small. It is handy. It gets super windy up there, so it's very nice to be able to run the big motor. Of course, you get back in those arms, dude. That's on a windy day when you've ran around that lake a few times. Your batteries are going to be feeling it, and if it gets windy and you get back in that electric only arm, it gets kind of crazy. I've almost run out of motorbike. Luckily, there's ramps everywhere, but still, man, super small water. So we're going to come back to that because I want to bring up a point here after we get our buddy's take here on this. So let me bring him in. Let's make a quick phone call. And everybody just tuning in, Death Trap, Joe Farson. Hey, man, it's a little hairy up there, I got to say. When I ran my big boat up there first time, I've only been up there a couple times. It was sketchy. You round a curve, and there's not much area up there to pass anyway. Very dangerous. And everybody, thanks for the comments. We got Fishers and Men, Dustin, Dennis in. First tournament coming up, March 5th. March 5th, I believe. At Sutton,
6th.
March 3rd,
March
March 6th. So that's coming up. So we're going to get with him, but let's make his phone call real quick. Let's bring in a buddy. Let's see what he's got to say. My man, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Eddie Humphreys on the line. Eddie, Lincoln County native, live on Dog Talk. What's up, brother? Appreciate your time, man. You reached out. I reached out kind of the same time after all the 9-9 talk was kind of being shared around. We hear it every couple years. Every year we start hearing folks talk about it. But, man, give us your take. Dude, you spend a lot of time on Mud River. It's no secret, but you spend a lot of time on a bunch of different lakes. Unlimited, limited, 9-9. I get to see you out there in the springtime. But, man, give me your take.
Well, first of all, what's up, everybody? Chris, Chase, how you guys doing?
What's going on?
What's up, Eddie?
For years, I grew up on Mud River, and you always want that fishability factor. Man, if I could just idle over there, I could idle up the lake a mile or something. I could get up to that hole. But you take into a safety factor, just like Chase was talking about earlier. I was trying to follow along until y'all hit about Plum Orchard, I think is when you texted me. These lakes are really narrow, a lot of them. I've never really been on Beach Fork, so I can't speak for that. But for the Plum Orchard, it's a wide open lake.
Yeah.
It's really pointless to be unlimited anyway.
Yeah.
But Mud River, it's windy. Mud River's about the one you probably could idle on. Somebody's going to get up on pad. I seen it firsthand this spring. The COVID hit. Everybody was off work, quarantining. Everybody was out fishing, and it was a nightmare. People were actually running their 150s on pad around that lake. And
Jeez Louise.
It's a bad situation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I can see that, and that was something. And you and I didn't get to talk really beforehand. You and I see eye to eye with some of it, maybe not all of it, but. Being out there, especially, we all spent that time on the water during COVID. 2020 was
Absolutely.
An incredible year on the water for people getting out there. It's a great thing. But we saw the negatives of it. You saw the trash pictures, the trash, the junk on the banks everywhere. You saw the amount of people out there in all kinds of different watercraft. It was insane.
I don't want to sound, selfish about this, but what's going to happen? Can that lead to, pontoon boats, pleasure boats? Can they idle?
Yeah.
What's that going to do to our small fisheries?
Yeah.
The whole pollution thing has been talked, but motors nowadays are more efficient and less emissions and all that, yada, yada, yada. But as far as the pressure that these lakes are going to establish, it's not good for the fishing, I don't think.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I've been on Woodrums all the way out near the dam, and here comes a pontoon boat. Like that has happened plenty of times on these small waters. I was out in Jackson County, and a small pontoon boat was out there. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But I think you do have to know as a community of anglers, there will be some negative impact of it, potentially. I know we always say, well, man, people are going to break the rules. There's always someone out there, but it's a whole different ball game when you add all of that into the mix. You're adding any kind of boat now, and prime example, I'll tell all of you, so I'm up at Plum Orchard last year. Everything was blowed out here. I might have told this story on an episode a while back. So I get out there and I'm fishing. Pretty busy on the lake. A lot of paddle sports, kayakers, paddleboarders out there. Awesome to see. Everybody was enjoying it. But the problem was, out of nowhere, I can hear this boat roaring. Here comes a ski boat. 4 guys, you can tell, all college buddies, everything's blowed out. You can't get on any lake, and they're flying up Plum Orchard. Never been here. We're just cruising around. And dude, they're running from the dam as far back when the lily pads start that you can possibly go, and looping and just doing circles. And I had to eventually go over there kindly after they shut it down and kind of anchored up. And, that's always a hairy situation. I'm not the DNR. I'm not here to, smack people on the wrist, but it's just inform the public. So I had to go over, hey guys, I know you don't know. And the signage is terrible there. It used to be on the point and the bank, it was no wake, but hey guys, I know you're probably not from around here. Obviously, you can't. There's a no wake zone back here. Oh man, we had no clue. So I can see that happening at Mud River, dude. I mean, can you imagine rounding the swimming area? Dude, there's no room, and some knucklehead come through, flying, just not thinking.
Yeah, I would have
talking about woodrooms. Woodrooms would be a nightmare.
Oh, dude,
you're tearing up equipment all day.
Yeah, and so I did go back when this topic come up. I went back and started again. That's how I kind of got off on the shad talk. But the crazy thing was I found an old article talking about the 9.9 restrictions, or the 10 horsepower max. Obviously, we all know we just buy 9.9s. But anyway, and there was an article where they interviewed whoever was in charge at that time. This has been years and years back. We won't even try to quote a name because I can't remember. But, someone from the DNR basically, didn't say that, didn't really have a definitive reason why those restrictions were in or on those particular lakes. They really didn't even have a side one way or another, as far as maybe looking at eventually opening it up to Idaho only. Nobody kind of ruled that out that I read in that old article. I can't tell you how they feel about that now, but, it did kind of shock me a little bit that they didn't really have a stance back then, but it was always a common denominator of a safety concern. You can't roll out that this could potentially increase a safety risk. Not that it's time for somebody to hold someone's hand when they're out there, because you can't do that. And who would want to have to babysit adults out on the water, but there's still going to have to be some kind of enforcement to get that at least set in people's mind that are using those bodies of water. Dude, there's
Shane,
definitely some concerns.
I actually asked a DNR officer about that a couple of years ago, and he told me that they were in place because of the smaller size of our bodies of water, and it was corroding the banks, is what he told me.
Now, I have heard that too. There's always an issue, and that I believe they mentioned that there's always an underlying issue of bank erosion, on the lake with, I'm assuming the argument would be bigger motors running. 9.9's going to be putting some weight. So, maybe it's taking into account more traffic, and maybe more boats on the water. If it's unlimited, then that might, I don't know. I guess that's a hard one to kind of, for someone to argue one way or another, in my opinion, a little bit. But I did see, and this could be followed up. I didn't reach out to anybody and get a definitive answer, but I heard a lot of talk on these particular lakes don't flow enough water to remove the oils and whatever byproducts that will be put back in the water with the motor runner. Now, whether or not that's true, all of our lakes are man-made lakes, dammed up, minimum flows for most of them all year. I don't know how true that is, but it would kind of make sense to a certain extent. But we only got 7 lakes. So it's like, I'm kind of like you, Eddie, and Chris, Chase. I see a couple lakes, and I want your all's input. Everybody watching from home, I'm going to let these guys kind of run with it for a second. We're going to go back through a couple comments. If somebody's got something that they saw, Chris, Chase, man, let me know. But I think of 2 lakes. If we're talking about 2 lakes that I personally have been on and spent time on and would consider, man, these definitely need to be idle only. And it would be hard because you look at Beach Fork, premier 9-9 destination lake. Wide open, the lake's big, you can get up in private areas. Chase, you spend a lot of time there. It is a very family-friendly lake. But, dude, tell me, 9-9 motors running all over. I hear people talk, man, it's low noise, this, that, and the other. Dude, that lake has to get crazy.
Are you referring to Beach Fork?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. That place does get a little crazy. Honestly, even with just a 9-9 restrictions now, it gets kind of crazy. And this year, I've never seen anything like it. Like when I was out there this spring, like I've never seen that amount of traffic on the lake. And it's not, and it's a lot of it's boats, a lot of it's pontoons, but I think I saw more kayaks out there than I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's like, it's kind of scary, honestly, when you're trying to run down through there and there's kayaks everywhere. But back to the idle only, yes, that would make sense for me to be idle only because it's large enough to do it. Do I personally want it? No, because it brings more traffic to the lake. But do I think could you do it? Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. It's just that just brings that many more boats to the lake. For fishing wise, it's not ideal for me, and it makes more boat traffic on the ramp. And honestly, the parking lot and the ramp doesn't really have enough room there either. So there would be a lot of things that had to go into place with that if they wanted to do that. I think they'd have to widen out the parking lot, and they'd have to come up with something because the way it is now, it's just too small.
Yeah, Eddie, this is something I'm going to ask you, dude. We saw the amount of people at some of the lakes, even the ones that me and you ran into each other on a little bit last year. Dude, 2020 was crazy with the amount of people. Opening it up, you look at some of those ramps, and a few of them are small, 20 parking slots for a boat and trailer, a truck and trailer maybe. I just feel like even opening it up would increase that the pressure even more. And we're talking 300-acre lakes, less than 300-acre lakes.
I'm not talking so much as fishing pressure,
Yeah.
Seeing lures. I'm talking about motor noise.
Yeah, just pressure.
Take O'Brien, for example. O'Brien is very narrow, and it's shallow. It's a shallow lake with a small river channel in it. So, and the fish like to get up in nothing there and sit on those mud flats, and that's how you catch them a lot of times. And I think just idling through, it's just the pressure of the noise and the boat traffic on these lakes, it's just negative from a fishing standpoint. Now you take Beach Fork, Chase was talking about, you could do it. Beach Fork's a camping destination.
Yeah.
They got an economy around their camping, campsites, boat rentals. So, they could benefit economically from it, potentially.
Yeah.
But like O'Brien,
potentially.
Woodrum, nah.
Yeah, man.
I just don't think they had the parking space for it, man. I really don't. I think they if they wanted to do that, I think it would. I don't know. It would be very wild, in my opinion. It'd be great for the campground. I agree with that part. Oh yeah, totally. It'd be great for the campground. Heck, you bring in way more people, but as if it isn't packed enough already. But I don't know. The parking would be crazy.
Well, Chris, dude, we talk about it all the time. Look at our waters too, though. I think we're always a little bit at a disadvantage when our waters are the size that they are. We know that. And I think these are some issues that maybe a lot of other states or areas don't typically have to deal with as much. And I look at it, I guarantee there's some lakes on that list. I've been to them personally in a kayak over on the, just skirting off of Ohio River. These were probably extremely, a lot deeper than what they are now. They filled in silt-wise. They've just filled in to practically nothing. But there's still some fish in them. So a lot of those bodies of water that are listed in there, 7, 10, 15, 20 acre little lakes that have public access to have a ramp built in them, a lot of them are just unusable to a certain extent. You've sealed it in completely. I can't remember that one over there. It's not too far from Rollins, kind of on the over by the Ohio River. I'd have to go back and double check, but super small. Got some big bass in it, but they push in and out of the river when it gets up. So 2 lakes. I think there's 2 lakes that would even, in my opinion, would come into either. I looked at it as, y'all kind of asked my opinion. I'll give my honest opinion. I spent a ton of time on those 9 lakes growing up. Woodrum's, Elk Fork a little bit later, Mud River, was able to fish Mud River a lot before I got my bigger boats, but and still love fishing those bodies of water. And they get very busy with just us trolling out there. Eddie will tell you, throw that sucker on 50%, half, and get moving.
Oh,
and
dude,
you can go loop around most of those 300-acre lakes in a day, whether you're running a 24-volt system, 12-volt, you might push it. You might have to crank her down a little bit, not go quite as far, but you can really reach a lot of the water.
Shane, I got to comment on that because I didn't have a 9 boat for a long time. I rode around the little bass tracker, and I'd go night fishing out there just during the weeks when I wasn't doing anything, when I was just in school and working. But I would go out there in the nighttime, and I would actually pack extra batteries for my 12-volt just so I could run from one end to the other on the trolling motor.
Yeah.
And get back on 100. So I never had to run half speed. I could run as hard as I wanted. And when one battery go dead, I just put the next one in and back to the ramp or wherever I was going next.
Yeah.
I did that a lot.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny. I got watching like those 10boats.net or 10-boat fishing tournaments, and you see some of these guys setups, and it's ultralight, multiple battery setups for electric only. Dude, it's crazy. And there's ways you can take in extra battery. You can pretty much troll all day. I definitely see the positive and negative. I can sit here and say we only got, and this was my first take, honestly. Well, we only have 7 out of all the lakes we have in the state. Only 7 of them are 10 horsepower max. And when you look at the size, like I said, 300, 200 acre. But then you look at Plum Orchard, and it's a little bit confusing. You look at Stone Coal. That's one extremely deep lake. It's 80, 90 foot in a lot of the lakes, especially Main Lake. Again, it's kind of a secret little destination over off the side of Stonewall. If you've never been, go. It's beautiful. Super clear, beautiful lake. But, man, it's deep. A boat could easily run. It'd be no different. It's actually much bigger. I think it's 500-plus acres, and I could be wrong. Right at 500 acres, I think. And you could run a lot of that. Of course, we know the risk involved. But one of my biggest things that I think I would like to see is there are people that it would – I saw a lot of comments, and Eddie, I think you even mentioned this originally when you and I talked, was there's a lot of people that it would help access that water. It really would maybe bring some people to on the water, on those small bodies of water, to be able to catch a giant bass that they've never had the opportunity on our generally big public water. Maybe people that have mobility issues. I could see a bigger boat potentially being a safer option for them. You know what I'm saying? And most people aren't going to go buy a 20-foot bass boat and put a 9.9 on it, but I think those are all valid points. So I think I could see good and bad in both. Is it worth it? I don't know. Let us know. Leave us a comment. Eddie, dude, I appreciate your time, dude. Any last words about it? Any last words what you're excited about fishing this year, dude? I know you've been busy, and man, we're gonna see you back out on a trail somewhere.
Well, I want to, but I might have some prior obligations going on. We're expecting our first child.
Awesome.
In July, so we'll see.
Super awesome.
Maybe next year, but maybe again this year. I don't know.
Well, man, I always look forward to seeing you out there. We all like to have fun. I think the last time I got to see you out on the trail is I think you and Keith kind of made a little comeback, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a few years back. You've had a lot of stuff going on, changes in life over the last few years since then. But man, I'm excited to see you back out there. I hope to see you back out there. We appreciate all your work, Charleston firefighter. Everybody, man, we appreciate your hard work, dude. I know y'all been busy. I know you're busy at the house. Best of luck with the baby on the way too, dude.
All right, man.
Awesome.
We'll see you guys later.
All
I
right.
appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. And we appreciate your input. We appreciate your input.
All right, team.
Later, buddy.
See you, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie.
So
We got some Hobie results too now.
What's that?
Hobie results are up.
All right, Hobie results. Man, everybody. Thanks for kind of tuning in and staying with us. Josh Balser threw a comment up. We're going to let Chris dive into some Hobie results, but Balser says, leave him be. And I like this point. He thinks, man, you ought to be able to run. It ought to be in there, run it in case of an emergency. Now, do I think a DNR would freak out on somebody if they had a true emergency? I highly doubt it. But I think it'd be good to have that. That's not a bad thing to have in there. Especially you get hung up on a stump real bad. You're out there by yourself. It's 40-degree water. I ain't getting in the water. Sorry, that ain't happening anyway. So
I can tell you, I got a little story there, Shane.
I love to hear it, man.
I got a ticket from the DNR officer at the Woodrum ramp for what I considered an emergency. I had a John boat with a 25 horsepower on it. And we were fishing. I want to say it was early spring. Big storm was blowing in. We was at the other end of the lake, and my trolling motor died on me. And like I said, wind started whipping up big time, and we didn't have a way to get back to the ramp. And we ran the motor back to the ramp. As soon as we pulled up to the ramp, DNR was waiting there. Saw me running the motor. I showed him that the trolling motor was completely dead. And unfortunately, I still got a ticket for it.
Still dang, man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh
man,
it wasn't cheap. I don't remember how much it was, but I think it was $300 or something.
Jeez, wow.
Well,
even in knowing that there was a storm coming, that's wild, man.
And you know, and here's one of the biggest issues that I see. I've experienced it myself from reaching out with questions. Locked in stone issues, it's going to be across the board 99% of the time. You know, you get checked, you don't have your license, you're probably going to get a ticket or a warning, guaranteed. Issues like that, you know, they see you load your boat on the trailer with your big motor. I've heard guys, they've seen them do it and nothing was ever said. Some guys said they've come up, said, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. I've heard some lakes, they tell you, like it says in the regulations, you're supposed to have your prop completely off the shaft of the motor and motor out of the water. You know, I like having the kill of that motor. I like that motor being in there. I mean, just to help you with tracking, goodness gracious. But yeah, I mean, so I guess it could be a lot tougher. They could be a lot tougher on us, make us pull the prop off every time we go. So I appreciate the leniency, but I feel like there's a lot of instances. One in particular, trout fishing. So bass fishing on a trout fishery since it's been stocked. So if I want to go out, love going used to go to a lot of those really small trout ponds or lakes stocked. Right when the fish were moving up to spawn, you know, they're feeding up. You know, they're still trouting a lot of those. And I always question, well, man, can I go fish those without a trout stamp? And you get mixed answers a lot of times, man. You know, it's better off just have a trout stamp just in case. Well, man, if you don't have any trout baits, if you don't have tiny treble, if we come up on you, you got anything related that could catch a trout, they're going to bust you. I mean, and they might consider a wee rebel crawdad that. I don't know. But, you know, I'm thinking, you know, if I just go pack a bunch of, you know, jigs, flip a big pig and jig around all day, you know, can I do that without having a trout stamp? Of course, we know that those funds go into wonderful causes and programs that they do. So always generally always just buy that anyway. But that's a question a lot of folks have. So I think it's like some things got to be definitive. And if we're being told one thing by one, man, please, it'd sure help if they all were telling us similar things, you know?
No doubt, buddy. Jeez.
Because that's definitely can be issues for, I know, some people. But anywho.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, so just tuning in. We kind of cover some 9-9 talk. Appreciate the ones that kind of let us know what you think. I'm not beating anybody on the head. We all got an opinion, and your opinions are directly from your experiences out there. I respect them. I think there's a good compromise there. I would love to see them say auto only or eventually work up there. If Brad was on tonight, that's been a huge topic in Ohio. Ohio is plagued with small bodies of water similar to us. Now, granted, they're a little bigger, a little more acreage on some of them, but a lot of electric only or 9-9 restricted. And every year they add a few. And I even went back, and yeah, they do. They add them to the list every few years of auto only. So I think there's some people that it could be something. I don't think they feel one way or another. If we could all band together and we would want to try to push something like that, I think that they would consider it. I'm just not confident that the advantages or pros outweighs the potential cons in that situation with only 7 bodies of water. Any final thoughts from you all on that?
Yeah, hey, Chris.
I know we just hit on that a lot. I know. Yeah. I think both of y'all probably, y'all got your point across. I think for the most part. Brandon Meddings threw a comment up. Let's see what he's got to say.
I want to speak on Dustin's there before we get to that. Did you see what Dustin put? He said he actually got a ticket in North Bend, and a 21-foot bass boat's trolling motor was actually broke. He out of the big motor back, showed the DNR officer that his trolling motor was broke. Yet he still ticketed him. Said it wakes too much and was against the rule. That's wild to me, man.
Well, and I guess, I guess it's it all depends on your view. I guess somebody could say, well, man, you're going to a 9-9 lake. You can't run the big motor. Now, I'm not saying this is right. I feel like in an emergency situation, somebody comes idling up to the ramp safely. I think safety is that's a safety issue. But I guess it could be looked at from the other way. Well, man, it's a 9-9 lake. If something happens to that trolling motor, you're out of luck. Now, I think that's nobody would leave somebody hanging out there. You know what I'm saying? But if you're out there by yourself, and if that's the case, and the fines were much greater, dude, somebody might put themselves in a horrible situation just to avoid a ticket. We've seen that happen.
Yeah, dude. I just think that's crazy as far as a safety issue. Like that's wild to me. Like, especially if you're out there by yourself. Yeah. Or mercy, and a storm rolls through, and you're the only one out there, and all you've got it, and you save your trolling motor for breaks for heaven bid. Yeah. You're out there with just a big motor. Like, what are you going to do?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. Brandon Meddings, this is wild. Tape a garbage bag over the prop and he'd be good. That just shows you that, dude, we're told a lot of different things. And this is info that's being shared to guys that and probably years span. But still, it's kind of like, these are things that I think are of importance. But before we go any further, I think we hit on a lot of that. If you all got something to add, drop it in the comments. Dion Bright, he threw a comment up. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to these boys, and we're going to get these guys on the show eventually. Oh goodness,
I got it here. If you want me,
yeah, man. Give a shout out for the guys that's going to be down there fishing.
Yeah, Dion says good luck next week to Mason Gross and Sailor McKinney with their boat captain Brandon Gross, and Luke Stewart and Austin Craze with their boat captain Michael Samples, who are competing at the BASS National Junior Championship on Harris Channel Lakes next week in Leesburg, Florida.
Hammers,
good luck.
Dude.
Good luck, guys.
Hammers. Did you all see it? Luke goes out and he catches a giant muskie practicing casting. I wish I had a picture of that because I know.
Oh yeah. Is that the one? Is that the one? Yeah, is that the one that's all floating around? It's like. Well, it was huge.
Huge. I can't remember the size. I think they were talking like mid-high 40s or something. Dude, it was massive. I wish I had a picture handy, but I don't. Chris, dude, I got off topic there. Holy crap! Give us Hobie results, man. Hobie results. Let's see what we got.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Give it to us, brother.
Sorry, I had you on mute. I was listening. Sounds like local guys. We had 3 guys finishing in the top 10, which is awesome, especially on such a challenging week of fishing. Tarek Walker from Wayne, West Virginia, finished in 9th place. 8th place, Tim Isaacs. And then 2nd place, Ewing barely lost out to Ryan
Lambert.
Lambert, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Mind blank there. Yeah, so I didn't get to watch the whole result, so I didn't get to see how close their gap was between first and second, but it sounds like Ewing just came in right behind him. So, but still, 3 guys in top 10, it's amazing.
Yeah, man. 3 guys, top 10. We go through this. It seems like every single episode, every national tournament, we keep talking about it. Dude, I mean, I think 93, 94 anglers registered and fished that event, I believe, somewhere around there. I think I saw the totals.
24.
Crazy tough fishing. And here we've got, not only do we've got anglers up in that top 10, Ewing was right there in the mix. I think I saw, he was in that, 8th place, maybe 6th place or something after day 1. I'd have to go back and look, but he was kind of up there. Tim was pretty high up in the standings, but he only had 3 fish day 1, I believe. Yeah, 3 fish, I think, 2 or 3 fish. You look at Walker. I mean, these guys put down day 2. They had to just show up to climb back out of that.
Yeah, I saw some stuff this morning. Never really thought about it, but there were several guys tried to put on the lake yesterday and today, and we got to steer with our rudder. We have rudders and stuff on those kayaks. The rudder cables were froze up. There was guys out that was trying to unice the rudder cables. So I mean, it was a rough weekend of fishing for them down there.
Yeah, man, that's crazy tough. I mean. Crazy tough. Like we were saying, crazy cold water temps, 2, 3, 10 limits, day 1, 10 limits. And it didn't get much better day 2. So very tough. Those guys, again, they show up, they throw down.
Yeah. Look at Ewing Meyer. I think Ewing Minor. He's fished, I believe, 2 kayak tournaments. The first one was the Hobie event at Lake Seminole. There are 174 anglers there. He finishes in the money at that tournament, and then follows it up here on Watts Bar with a 2nd place finish. I mean, this guy, it'd be interesting to see now because I thought he said at the Seminole event he didn't know how many tournaments he was going to be able to fish from a kayak standpoint because everything's doing with college. But now that
he's coming to whoop up on me, that's the problem.
Yeah, now he's got a legitimate path towards the Angler of the Year and Hobie. You might see him actually start to concentrate on that a little bit more.
Yeah. Man, and I was kind of thinking about this myself. Honestly, I was, you sit back and as far as before we'll jump into that a little bit, but you look at, and I went back immediately to the top 3 places in the Hobie event automatically gets a spot in the TOC. So I went back and looked. These are 3 fresh new names. So that's now 6 folks, 6 anglers that are going to be in qualified TOC. And it's like and I couldn't help but go back down that list at some of those top finishers over the last few events, right? The bite was a lot better down south for those folks. And, Kissimmee, phenomenal fishing, big bass being caught, and they kind of got thrown for a loop post frontal. I'm not saying that it shows their skills in tough conditions, but today and yesterday, absolutely it does. You didn't see those typical names up there, but you saw our guys right in the mix again. Phenomenal anglers doing big things. I can't wait to watch for them. Can't wait to watch for them. I'm interested to see, like you said, 2nd kayak tournament ever, dude. That's insane. Chase, I thought you said you were going to give one a shot here soon.
I kind of want to, actually. So I might sneak in one. Who knows? We'll see. Probably more towards the summertime if I decide to do one, but we'll see.
Well, we can get you a kayak. We'll
Possibly,
find him
yeah.
a kayak, Chris. Won't we?
See how good they can whoop up on me there. Yeah, for sure.
Chris, we'll let him
For sure.
We'll let him paddle across. We'll take him to Kentucky Lake and put him in and make him paddle across the lake.
No,
one
no,
time
I don't
when
want to do
when
that.
current's
Whoa.
rocking too, and it's
Nope.
well, trust me, it scared me enough to get my butt off the water. I ain't into that, dude. It's
I
crazy.
don't want that business either. I
Well,
get
listen,
scared in a bass boat. Come on, man.
You all see my shirt right here, Briar Strong. Shout out to Briar Weeks, real quick. Y'all see me wear this shirt on the show a few times. Phenomenal young man. They got a killer, awesome, wonderful fundraiser going on with Bass Nation for Briar. Briar is a young man, 13 years old, goes to school at, I want to make sure I get this right, Trap Hill Middle School, and he is a Bass Nation West Virginia junior angler fishing with Liberty High Bass Masters. And this kid is an avid hunter, too. He loves the outdoors, hunting, fishing for a cure. I wear this proudly, and we're thinking about you, buddy. He is, diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a type of bone cancer, and he is a go-getter, head up, thinking about when he gets to come out there and fish again. Got to see him not too long ago, I believe, at the state championship event there on the Canal River there last year. But so anyways, got the tumor out, got his operation done on his last few treatments. So we're thinking about you, buddy. But right here, what I've got, I picked up a couple extra of these shirts. So I want a few people out there. I'm going to give these away. Leave a comment. Everybody, just leave Briar a comment, okay? Hashtag. Let's throw the hashtag up there. You see it. Hashtag Briar Strong. Hashtag BRYARSTRONG. Comment that on this video by midnight, okay? I'm going to draw a few lucky people. Comment hashtag Briar Strong. Bass Nation West Virginia's got a raffle. They got about 20 tickets available. Goes off of the Daily 3. Going to be drawn on February 27th. 20 or so left. You can get with Dion Bright or Dana Brown. It's 9 o'clock. You might be able to get a hold of one of them, but look up Bass Nation West Virginia's Facebook page. It is shared down through there. We'll make sure we share it on the page and a link. 20. I want 20 people to hop on there. They're $10 a piece. You get 5 chances, 5 sets of numbers to potentially win. And winner will be drawn on 27. Let's buy all these up. They got 20 left. They're going to be donating what's raised to the family and help them. They've spent a lot of time in that hospital over the last year or so, and we're thinking about him. Can't wait to see him finish up with this treatment and get him back out there. So leave us a comment. Briar Strong, we're going to get you a T-shirt. We'll draw them in order. I've got a medium left, a large, a 2X, and a 3X, okay? So we'll give you your pick in order, and if you can't wear it, we'll find someone that can, but we want to support him. All right? That's exciting. Also, comment hashtag Briar Strong. I forgot Dion. Dion, my man, is throwing in a free ticket. So we're gonna add that to the mix, and one of your names, lucky names, we're gonna draw, and we'll get you a free ticket with 5 chances on that. So super pumped up. I want Dion to reach out to me tomorrow saying, "Hey man, basically that's $10 a pop. They got about 20 or so left, $200 worth, and they'll reach their goal." So I want us to buy the rest of them out and help support that. But goodness, what's coming up? What's coming up here in the next couple of weeks? I know I'm always leaving something out. I hope each of you at home got your comment in for the Summersville Lake Master Plan. That's all wrapped up. Interested to see what comes out of the comments. Public comment. So they were super, super nice every time I reached out to them to talk about that. They kind of clarified some stuff with me. Of course, I always share that with you all, but excited to see what's going to happen with that. But anything else, guys? What's coming up?
I'm just going to watch the Elite Series this week. So they take off on Knoxville. I guess practice starts tomorrow. So looks like some decent weather coming, but I guess we'll see. I'm sure it's freezing there right now, but I'll be watching that all week. That's all I have for the week.
Redcrest.
Redcrest is this week. Jeez.
Tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow. What?
Goodness
so
gracious.
yeah, well, that's a whole mess there. So eventually they had this on Texas, right? And then obviously Texas has had all this crazy weather, and then they've had all the snow and yada yada. I kind of got confused whenever they changed it and they put it on Eufaula. I was like, what in the heck's going on? And then I read through there and I was like, oh, okay, I see now. But anyway, so I guess they moved it over on Eufaula. They got 1 day of practice.
One day
today,
of practice, dude.
One
That's
day of
crazy.
practice, and tomorrow they're going to start competing for $300,000. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be wild. I kind of figure we'll see an offshore bite, and we're probably going to see Jacob Wheeler, and I'd say Ott Defoe probably tear it up again. So we'll be on the watch. I'll be on the watch this week for sure, and see what happens.
Well, I tell you, Chris, I mean, I'll tell you who my pick is. I saw him follow closely, saw him put on the water pretty early. Actually, before he went live, the Yellow Tech dude was out there filming around, so he caught him backing his boat in the water. It was early. It was fairly early today. And he just posted a live video late, so he was out there till late, probably as long as he was allowed to. Edwin Evers out there, and like he said, he is a muddy water, cold water. He's tough when it comes to those conditions. He's very tough to compete with, and man, I'm not saying he'll win it, but man, I'm throwing some chips in the hat with Edwin. I expect him to catch some fish. He is a phenomenal muddy, cold water angler. And I mean, dude, all these guys, it's insane.
I'm going to put my hat on the ring on Wheeler. That's a safe pick for me for the week. What about you, Chris? Who are you taking?
Man, I'll probably roll with Ott. I don't know though. I like Shane's pick with Edwin, but I'll probably roll with Ott just to switch it up against you guys. But I'm a big Defoe guy. But if the water's, did you say the water's stained on Eufaula?
Man,
I would have to imagine so.
They're talking, with the influx of just everywhere. I mean, I can't even imagine any lake that isn't crystal clear right now. But the word is muddy, cold water is the word. I'm sure there's some cleaner water, and those guys, when they say muddy, dude, they might be looking for a specific muddy water. They go up an extra mile up the river and they say, "Oh, that's too muddy." I mean, you watch some of these guys fish, and they're very particular about that stain they're looking for, or clarity. They might be looking for a much clearer water. I'm interested to see what's going to come into play for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be watching it for sure.
First tournament of the year around here, bass tournament, of course. What'd you say? March 6th?
Yeah, I think Dustin Dennis is having his, the Fishers of Men tournament.
Yeah,
so.
Fishers of Men. Dustin Dennis, reach out to him.
Is there still ice on the lake? I'd have to think so.
I would say that there's probably some ice somewhere right now. Maybe not after all this rain and the warmer weather, but
I got a picture yesterday from Summersville, and there was ice on top of it, so it's not too far, I don't guess, from it. So.
Ooh, Trevor Jordan.
I would say,
my dude, he's he kind of got back in the tournament ring there late last year, and he is amped up for this year, dude. Can't wait, man. Excited. Hackney, now, always one of his picks.
Is Hackney in this tournament? I don't know. Is he in it?
Man, I don't know. I don't know how they qualify for this Red Crest. It's so hard to keep up with. But we'll look at that. If he's saying he's rooting them on, then I would say he's in there.
I would say he's in there. Huh, weird. I didn't know if he was practicing for Knoxville this week or he's just not. Wow, this is wild. Wild times, man.
Dustin says their mud isn't West Virginia muddy waters. We have a whole new breed of muddy water around here. That's true, man. That's too funny.
Sure.
Until you fish it. That's we get used to it. Go out O'Brien. Then we'll talk about muddy water. That's chocolate milk, but there's fish that bite in it. Couple last things. Had a few people reach out to me. I'm probably going to be hopping on the phone and do like a little just live share screen, just talking a buddy through some video editing stuff. If you all like some of that content, Chase does a lot of his own editing. Obviously, I edit all my own stuff for the show. It's nothing fancy. Neither of us are professionals. But, man, if it's something that you film your own stuff, don't really know what to do with all that GoPro footage, just want the basics of how to just get that into a video editing software. Free options out there available to try to help you along so you can get your content out there. Man, we can do some stuff like that. let us know. Like I said, I'm going to be hopping on the phone with a buddy here in just a few minutes, and kind of talking some editing stuff. So some different things we can hit on. Always, we can do little side shows for the folks that might want that. Don't want to throw that out for everybody if you don't want to watch it. But that, and also we're going to try to, since it's so much information, we're already at an hour. There's so much information. Going to be trying to do some little pre-recorded side shows and be putting those out over the next couple of weeks. So going to reach out to definitely Dustin Dennis. We'll get him on, talk about some of the Fishers of Men. He's locked down the schedule. He's got everything lined out ready. So they're getting some great turnout numbers already. You've got 25 or so, 30 guys already committed to fish the entire trail. So we're going to try to bring some of that. Get with Chris, get with Chase. I know we got a lot of stuff coming up. Season's kicking off. We're going to say less than a month and a half away. Early April, we know everybody's going to be fishing. So we got a lot of stuff to cover. But Brad's going to get us some info on the stuff coming up on the river. Shout out to Brad, everybody. He has had to make a trip for a big volleyball tournament. So hopefully his girl did well, and safety back home for them as well. But any last words, guys, before we let everybody go?
I think we got everything wrapped up. I do want to mention one thing that I just thought I kind of just looked at this.
Yeah, man.
The Bass Pro, the Red Crest this week, the presenting sponsor is Old Wisconsin Sausage. I've never seen a meat sponsor for a bass tournament, but heck yeah, I'm all for it. That's awesome.
Man, I tell you.
That's wild.
Well, look through some of the sponsors they've landed this year.
Yeah, dude.
Actually,
Crazy.
all the big trails. And, man, you're kind of seeing some non-endemic sponsors come on board, which is what we always want to see. We always want to see that. That's how we get to that next level. And it's always, the talk is always, it's tough to hold on to them. But bass fishermen, anglers, tournaments bring a value to those folks and to the community. Yeah. So give us a shot. Give us a shot. We promise we can give you a little boost to the local economy. We promise that. We're going to come in 100 boats deep, 200 kayakers deep, some events. So it's awesome stuff. But yeah, Old Wisconsin.
Yeah. Do you win? Do you win sausage if you win the tournament? Like,
year supply of smoked sausage or something.
Sausage.
I don't know. Too good.
Oh man,
I wouldn't complain about that. You know,
no, I wouldn't either. Heck, shoot,
lifetime beef jerky. Chris, what you got, dude? Anything? Well, next weekend, what we got coming up? Kayak stuff. We got another one next weekend.
KBF Lake Murray. Then following week, you got BASS kicks off at Lake Fork.
Yeah, Lake Fork.
They've already got 100 guys signed up for that.
Goodness.
So
crazy. Crazy. It's going to be an exciting weekend. We're going to bring you. We're going to look and see what's going on for next weekend. We're not going to throw anything out there quite yet, but Chase is working on something. We'll keep you updated. Super exciting if we can get this lined out for you. Another amazing guest. So we're going to work on that. Of course, as tournaments kick off, we got a lot to cover. But be looking for, before we go, going to be sitting down. We haven't set up a time yet, but he's agreed. I'm going to sit down with Ken Hackworth, president of Bass Nation, West Virginia. It won't be hosted here on Dock Talk. We might cross-post it over here. But we're going to be sitting down and showcasing everything kayak tournament fishing for Bass Nation. How to join a club. This is coming down to the last month, so you got to be in a club, being a member. Be a member of Bass Nation West Virginia to compete in the qualifiers coming up Memorial Day weekend, okay? So we're going to cover all that. So be looking for an announcement on Bass Nation West Virginia's page. I'll make sure to share it here on Dock Talk. So we're going to sit down, answer all your questions, try to help guide you along to get in a club so you can compete. The numbers are climbing this year, and we've got 5 anglers on the state team. We're going to be highlighting them, too, coming up this weekend. They're going to be representing in June at now Possum Kingdom Lake due to a lake change, a little bit closer to the Classic, but they will be someone's going to be walking across the stage as the first ever Bass Nation Kayak Series champion. So that's going to be exciting. What's that?
$50,000.
$50K, man. $50,000 to walk away at a full field of 270 anglers qualified. And we've got some hammers. We got Matt Ball. We got Tim Isaacs going down. Sammy Pugh, dude, Harold Harper, Coy, Lehman. I mean, I'm telling you right now, y'all better watch out for these guys, and they're going to put a hurting on them. And I expect, again, our guys to do well. And no pressure on them because I know they're ready to fish. So that's coming up this weekend. Probably Saturday, maybe early Sunday. We're going to not try to cross it into the live show because we're definitely going to have a live next week at 8, as always, on Sundays, covering all your bass fishing news and events and results right here on Dog Talk West Virginia. So we're not going to keep you. Gals, appreciate y'all joining in. And until next time, we will see you on the water. Oh, don't forget, hashtag Briar Strong, hashtag Briar Strong, midnight tonight to get in on the giveaway on a free raffle ticket, Bass Nation, and going to give away the rest of these shirts. Thank you all. We'll see you next round.